Welcome to the Four Corners 912 project discussion on rules of the game. For a country to exist peaceably as a unified people in the game of life, we all must be playing by the same rule. The rules for our country were established in the Constitution that was agreed upon to abide by. This was and is the supreme law of the land.
To follow the rules, you must know what they are. They are few and clear. We hope to help you all to better understand what the rules are, as we are looking to elect new representatives in local and state government offices next year.
They take an oath to uphold the constitutions of both the state and the United States.
What are they to uphold and protect?
We will begin this regular discussion beginning with the Bill of Rights, which is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution.
You mentioned the word several times in what you were just talking about, the word liberty.
Yes.
In our Declaration of Independence, we talk about it defines our life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty being a very important factor of that. And that's in the Second Amendment or throughout all the amendments, our liberty. And I was looking up several different ideas, but under Black's Law Dictionary had the shortest definition that makes it easier to do. What is our liberty? We use it so flippantly almost.
Yes.
And not really realizing what it is. And our Black's Law says it's a freedom.
Mm-hmm.
He says exemption from extraneous control. You're free from everybody else controlling you. The power of the will in its moral freedom to follow the dictates of its unrestricted choice. You can choose your own life. You can choose what you do. And to direct the external acts of the individual without restraint, coercion, or control from other persons.
Mm-hmm.
You live your life the way you want to live it without everybody else bugging you.
Yep.
But then it has a bottom item here says, the liberty and freedom enjoyed by people to live our own lives do not be given them the right to infringe, another infringe word,
Yep.
upon the liberty and rights of others.
Because the other guy has the same liberty as I do.
That's right. So, whether it's my right to bear arms, it can't be infringed upon.
Mm-hmm.
I can't infringe upon the other person's right
Correct.
to bear arms.
That's right.
And my neighbor, maybe as some would say, well, I'm scared of him because he has a gun. Well, so what?
Yes.
It's not my right to infringe upon his right. Now,
Which has just happened here in the state of Colorado.
it has.
With
Exactly
the
right. The red flag.
Red flag bill.
They take that up as I'm scared of him.
Yep.
So I'm going to infringe upon his right, his
Take it.
liberty, of his God-given right and liberty. And does he have a right to infringe upon yours?
Without any of the protections in the Colorado Constitution about facing your accuser,
Yeah.
being presented with the evidence against you and all of those sorts of things. It's in the Colorado Constitution. Of course, it's in the federal Constitution also. Every state has a constitution that reflects the federal government, either originally or by amendment.
And the red flag, the reason for that, like in the red flag, is my liberty, his liberty, and your liberty, you can't infringe on each other's. Now, if you are not responsible and you do infringe upon the other person, then you've given up your right of your liberty under the Second Amendment. But until you actually take an action to infringe upon that right by using your firearm or your arms or weapon in violation of his liberty, none of your business.
Well, and again, go back to when we were lagnads, we learned a phrase that your liberty or freedom, the word freedom is often substituted, which I don't particularly care for, but your freedom to swing your arm ends at my nose.
Yeah.
That was one of the ways that it was portrayed. And again, I don't like the word freedom the way we use it these days, because quite often that just means licentiousness.
Yeah.
Liberty is a better word because of the definition you just read. That, you don't mess with me, I won't mess with you.
Our liberty to live our lives without infringing on the other person's liberty requires responsibility.
Yeah.
And that's where we have failed so often, is I don't want to be responsible for my own life.
There you go. That is absolutely true.
I would rather call a cop and let him be responsible for me. I'd rather call the federal government and let them be responsible for me. It's not my fault.
Not my fault.
It's somebody else's. And we don't want, but if we want to live our life in freedom and with liberty, we have to accept responsibility for our lives
Correct.
and respecting other people's liberty and rights in every aspect, not just in the Second Amendment so-called rights. All expect.
All of it.
Everything in our life, recognizing the other person has equal rights that we do.
But one of the things that derives out of this, we just look at our own life and the mistakes, misjudgments that we've made. If I can't run my life in a perfect fashion, why do I think I can run yours?
You better not.
And so many people today think that they are anointed, like our representatives and senators and city councils and county commissioners and you name it, governors, that somehow they are, once they receive the majority vote, they are anointed with some unknown wisdom on how to run our lives. They don't even need to pay attention to the constitutions because they have this sudden influx of wisdom. Good luck. You're still a flawed human being, pal.
Haven't to count it up, but you look at most of our, whether it's congressional acts or state legislative statutes we pass, have nothing to do with following the Constitution in governance.
That's absolutely correct.
It's in restructuring our culture of how I want you to act, and I want you to behave, and what I want you to do. And I know better for you than you do. And so to make you act right, I got to pass a law to make you act like the way I think you should.
And look at how many times, including in that very legislation, the folks that wrote it exempt themselves.
True.
Now, that ought to tell us something.
And you bring that back to the Second Amendment, and I've decided that you don't need a magazine that'll hold more than 10 shells.
And the guy that wrote that bill is surrounded by 4 Secret Service agents with Glocks and who knows how many mags in the belt.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with having a gun or a weapon, but you don't need you don't need more than 10 shots in your magazine.
You don't need an AR-15 with 30 rounds to kill a deer.
my liberty is being taken to live my life the way I want to. by
Second
somebody-
Amendment says nothing about killing deer.
No. Well, we can move on to number 3.
Yeah, that'll wrap up Amendment 2, and in our next session, we will try to address a very simple Amendment 3,
Sounds like
the
we're-
quartering of troops.
If anyone wants to contact us, you got the addresses. You can email us, and we'll be happy to respond to you via our email. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.